Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts, Liz and KT. And today we have a very special guest, Kelsey. Woo woo.
Hi.
Wow, we are so excited about this episode today. So, we are going to be talking about Wattpad. This is actually not Kelsey's first time on the podcast. She was actually here in the beginning when we did like a fangirl episode. It was a two-parter, so go back and listen to that because that was those were some good episodes. But yeah, so we're excited to have Kelsey here. We'll let Kelsey share some thoughts first, I guess, about being on the podcast.
Bro, a lot's changed since I was last on here. I have an internship. I have a big girl job. I don't work at Bath and Body Works anymore, but I work at a new store that I'm about to quit anyway. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh,
And
I graduated college.
but she hasn't walked yet. Not to spill her business.
Kelsey out there adulting.
Right, while I'm suffering in school. But anyways, we're gonna get into what we've been up to. So for me, I've been drowning in schoolwork. Y'all. Okay, today though, I'm gonna tell y'all about a fiasco I had today. So earlier I kinda got out of bed late, and Tuesdays and Thursdays is when I have like my strict class. And like he does not play, y'all. I made it with a minute to spare. I was sweating. I was fast walking, my legs and calves was burning, but I made it. But then of course I was just so frazzled when I got in, and I had my trusty dusty Owala. She already be loud because I fill her up with ice. Why did she fall? And then it made a big noise. The professor, and he like stopped for a moment too, and like I couldn't see it, so I was like looking. And then the girl next to me, which thankfully she's like in my group for that class, she like picked it up for me. I was like, thanks, girl. Like it was just a mess. And I was just like, at least I made it to class. So that was my fiasco. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. It's that freaking digital marketing class. If you're not new here, you know, I have some beef with that class, and just for some reason, a lot of work piled up. But I'm on the last home stretch, and I'm just ready for this week to be over.
Whenever a water bottle falls on the ground, that's the most embarrassing thing.
That part.
Does your all's water bottles like bang against the wall? Like when you're like holding it, or like if it's on like the pocket in the side of your backpack, like sometimes I don't know how big I guess I walk. Like sometimes I'll swing and like it'll hit stuff.
I don't think that's a universal experience.
I think that's a Kelsey experience. I've never had that happen before.
Because like, how close you walk into the walls, Kelsey?
I mean, like I'll have it, like I'll have a bunch of stuff in my hand. So like I have like my lunchbox and my water bottle and my work bag on my shoulders. So, like when I go to close like a door or something, it, like bangs against the door.
Okay, I can kind of see that, but
I'll let you know when I get like a real job, you know, when I have all those bags. See if that like adds something to the equation. This week for me, I have an exam that's coming up next week, so I have to like start studying for that. We'll see how it goes. It's our first exam in the class, which is always like a little like nerve-wracking because you don't know how the format's gonna be. And then I also did some trip planning for this week, and it's kind of sad because it makes me come into realization of like how fast time is coming when like my weekends are filling up and I have like limited weekends open now. I'm like, dang, it's gonna be here before I know it.
Is this that big trip, the spring break one?
The spring break one's fully booked now, like travel and then lodging. We have to book lodging for one more place, but that one's like fully booked.
Okay, I feel like I want to take some more guesses. So, what did I guess last time? Like Italy and France?
You did France, like south of France and Italy.
Oh yeah. So this time I'm gonna go with I don't know. Are you staying in Europe?
Yes, I am staying in Europe for the long trip. I am going out of Europe soon though.
Ooh, tea. Is it Asia?
No.
Are you going to Africa?
Yeah.
Oh my god, are you going to Morocco?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I want to go to Morocco so bad. I'm so jealous.
Trust, I will be documenting the experience.
Speaking of documenting, why have we not gotten any new pictures or videos from that camera that you got?
I have been using it. I just be really bad at like uploading it to my phone, but I'll drop some photos in the shared album.
Okay, I was about to say we got nothing.
Yeah, Liz a gatekeeper.
I really am, without even realizing it. My apologies.
And now I think it is safe to say we are now getting into our faves of the week. So I'm going to go first because I'm pretty sure, well, mine's the most boring of them all. And pretty sure I've had this before in the past. But podcasts. Just in general, I've been loving my podcasts, especially my self-help ones like I talked about last week. And it helps like calm me, like especially in the mornings. I know they say it's good to like sit with your thoughts in the morning, but like I don't know, something about me, my thoughts are never quiet. So it's just like it's good to have a podcast to just take my attention somewhere else.
I agree, Kennedy. I love listening to my podcasts in the morning. They just like put me in the right mood, into the routine that I need. And Kennedy shared with me her little podcast playlist that she made. So I will be giving it all a listen to this week. And then for my favorite of the week, similar to Kennedy, that like morning vibe, I really enjoyed my mornings. I don't have any more like morning class anymore. So I can like wake up, take my time, get ready, but I can really take my time getting up in the morning. I have like a little routine going. I've been going on walks and coming back, getting my breakfast. Just really been enjoying that. And then I'll listen to like a podcast in the background, and it just makes my mornings feel like so nice.
Okay, so my favorites of the week. First off, shout out to Laneige because their lip products, they're doing something. First off, I got the sleeping mask that like everybody has, like in the little tub or whatever, and I got that from TJ Maxx because who do I look like paying full price? But they recently dropped their new like tinted lip serums, and I was like, okay, I know Kennedy's been talking about them, and I was like, let me try them real quick and do a little review. Fire. Fire. When I tell you, they go on so smooth. And like the tint, it's like not too much. Like it looks like darker from the tube, but when you put it on, it's just like a little bit, perfect amount, not too overdone. A lot of good like dark neutral colors, which I think look good on like Liz and Kennedy, like your all skin tones especially. It look really good. Definitely worth the $22 I spent on it. I only got one, but like even like the little donut applicator, like it like works. Like I don't like the original applicators for those kind of lip balms. Like they're nice, but like this one, it works. It works with the theme of like the glazed donut that they have. And then my next one, spending money. I like this past week, I have gone a little crazy, but for a good reason because I got a full-time job offer. So I'm thinking, let me spend money while I can, knowing that I will have something to replace it in the future, right? Okay,
Girl
so
math.
exactly. So I got some Hollister jeans. I got two pairs of Adidas shoes. Oh wait, no. One's Adidas and then one's Pumas. I got some nice basic tops from Old Navy because Liz, she's been talking about her little Old Navy basic long sleeves and stuff, and I'm like, okay, they just dropped their summer collection too. Had to go there, but overall, I am usually so stingy with my money, but I'm like, let me treat myself. I've gotten this far. I just let it happen.
Period. Treat yourself.
All I took away from that is Kelsey's gonna be treating us. When I get back, I expect a little Laneige
Um,
lip serum.
girl, you can have a little swipe of mine.
See, Liz, she for some reason thinks that we finna treat her when she comes back. Delusional girl.
I'm gracing you guys with my presence.
Y'all hear that silence? And now we're gonna get into my favorite segment, the sports corner. We got a lot to talk about. Sorry, Kelsey, you're gonna be sitting here being like, blah 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 blah. What is this girl talking about? But we got some things to cover, you guys, because the week that this is posted is the first F1 race of the season in Australia, and I'm so freaking excited. And me and Liz decided to do like our own little F1 fantasy. But I'll get into that a little later because I feel like I need to talk about tennis. So there's a tennis tournament going on in Indian Wells, which that's like now my bucket list. And they did like an exhibition little fun game on Tuesday night. It's called like tiebreak tens. I'm not gonna explain the rules. Just look it up. And you guys, it was so freaking fun to watch. And I'm just like, tennis needs more stuff like that, especially in the United States, because I feel like even though there are a decent amount of tournaments similar to F1, like the US fan base is still growing slowly but surely, especially for females. So it was just like really fun, and it gave me joy. I don't know what to say. And actually, one of the American tennis girlfriends popped up on my free page, and I sent Liz a TikTok, and I was like, "See, this is why we need to continue talking about this because she like made a video when it was the Australian Open for tennis, and she was like basically where all the black people at, because she's black, she dates one of the few black tennis players on tour. And so for this tournament and then the one in Miami after this one, she's working with brands to bring, you know, black creators and black people to, or just any woman of color to the tennis tournaments, which I love. But into F1, okay, low key, why did I run a lot? So I'm gonna have to switch my thing. So if I look crazy, don't say nothing. So first, I feel like it would be like a quick little refresher, especially for Liz, to recap the grid real quick. So who's on the grid this year? Especially there's a bunch of new rookies. I'll say which ones are, but we have Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Liam Lawson. Oh wait, I should probably say the teams as well. So the first two, Lando and Oscar, McLaren; Charles and Lewis, Ferrari; Max Verstappen and Liam, Red Bull; George Russell, Kimi Antonelli for Mercedes. Kimi is a rookie. Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso for Aston Martin; Pierre Gasly and Jack Doohan for Alpine. Jack is a rookie as well. Isaac Hadjar, not sure how to pronounce that, and Yuki Tsunoda for Red Bull, Visha, Cash App, Racing Bulls, whatever it is, too long. And then Esteban Ocon and Ollie Behrman for Haas. Ollie is another rookie. And then Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz for Williams. And then Nico Hulkenberg and Gabriel Portoletto for Kick Steak Sauber. So that's a little refresher of the grid. Oh my god. Oh, he's a reserve driver for Alpine. Or, oh my god, not Alpine. Alpine. Yeah, Alpine. Yeah, so apparently there's rumors that like Jack has like a 5-race contract. Like he has to do good or like Franco will replace him. So I'm like, that's tea. And I'm like, I would love to see Franco replace him. So please do bad. JK. I'm just kidding. No one cover me. And let's see, what else did I say? I don't know if you wanted to give predictions for the person who would win the team, like who would win the team championship and who would win the drivers. For me, of course, I'm gonna say
McLaren.
Yeah, even though I'm wearing a Ferrari jacket, I just feel like maybe next year can be Ferrari's year, but not this year. And then for driver, I think it's honestly gonna be between Lando and maybe Oscar. Maybe Lewis, and I don't know. I just have high hopes for McLaren this year.
I also think it's going to be team-wise. I think it's going to be McLaren. And driver-wise, I think it's going to be a McLaren. I think it can be either Lando or Oscar, or I don't want to say Max, but I feel like it could either be Max, Hamilton. I don't think it'd be Charles, not gonna lie. It's gonna be like a McLaren.
I agree. I just feel like they're so strong, and yeah, I just feel like Ferrari, they just still have some work to do. And then I feel like betting on Max is always safe, even if the car is not the best. He always gonna find a way. I also wrote predicting any other things we might see, but honestly, I can't think of any at the moment. So I don't have anything to say for that. I don't know about you, Liz.
My only prediction is we will be seeing Franco very soon.
We'll see, hopefully. Please. And then, like I said, we decided it would be fun to do like a little F1 fantasy type game. So I'll like quickly explain the rules, and I think I'm gonna post something on Instagram too, like the Thursday or Friday of the race weekend, so if anyone else wants to join in, they can. But basically, just a quick rundown. We're not gonna do anything too much because we're not those type of people. So basically, I have in another document, I have all the drivers and then the rules. So we can't get the same driver twice unless we go through everybody twice. So every race weekend we'll give, I guess, 2 drivers, 1 to 2 drivers. I don't know what would make the most sense. And then based on their performance, we'll either lose or gain points. So mostly gain points though, but we'll get points based off the race results. So first place is 25 points, second 18, third 15. And then 4th through 10th is 4 points. And then outside of the top 10, you obviously get no points. And then we can get some bonus points between the fastest lap, which is 5 points, finish ahead of their teammate, 3 points, qualifies pole position during quali, 5 points. And then if they DNF the race, we get negative 10 points. And then And if we want to predict the podium, we get 20 points if it's 100% right. And then I don't know how much I'll be taking chances on this. And then if we get 2 out of 3 of it right, it will be 8 points. And then obviously the person at the end with the most points will win. Just for now, because I didn't make no type of spinning wheel, just like Liz, pick a random number between 1 and 20, and then that'll be your driver. Should we do 1 or 2?
Let's do 2. Because what if one of them is like terrible?
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I'm gonna go with 13.
All right. So Liz got the Isaac Hazard, one of the rookies, and pick another way.
Let's go with number 1.
I feel like Liz is cheating. She got Oscar Piastri. Interesting.
Easy, you know?
Yeah, next time we're doing a spinning wheel. Actually, Liz, you ask me, and then I'll write down what I have.
Okay, we're gonna do yours. Pick a number.
5.
I feel like Katie is cheating. Max Verstappen. Pick another number.
The only time I root for Red Bull. 2.
Oh, you got Lando Norris.
Hey.
I just want to let everybody know Kennedy made this list.
So, and I can see Liz is on this document, so I know she looking. So, those are our drivers. We'll see where we're at next episode. And then we'll draw again with no cheating this time. But honestly, me getting Max and Lando at the beginning of the season might be bad. So we'll see who wins. Hopefully it's me.
With that cheating, yep.
Anyways.
Obviously, for the Harry fans who listen, he has been, I would say, on a hiatus, because it feels like when One Direction went on their hiatus. He's just been kind of off the grid. We don't know what he's been doing. All of us are obviously hoping that he's writing music, writing that next album. We know good and well he's not doing anything. He is not. And we know we have that proof now because he was in the Tokyo Marathon. Why was he in there? We don't know. But literally, the clips that we see of him running through, and the fact that his pace for this, why is he actually like really fast?
Because he be running for fans.
No, but like, I mean, I know that he's like an active runner because people be catching him like while he's on his little trails and stuff, asking for pictures. But I'm like, dang, he was actually like really high, wasn't he? Like in a high percentile or something.
Yeah, he was running like 7:47 a mile fast for 26 miles.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it was good because Liz was a runner.
All I know is I feel like he had to be listening to his new album, you know. Rumor is it's gonna be like a rock album. So he wanted to test out like, you know, if it was getting those endorphins going. That's what I'm telling myself. No, I am delusional.
I think we all want that rock album. But also, he was wearing those skimpy little shorts, those little running shorts. I was like, dang, I wish I was in Tokyo right now.
No, it's crazy that people recognized him.
Yeah, the video of the girl that's just like cheering and then she realizes it's Harry, that would have been me.
That's too funny. And then next, y'all, this is so random. Why are Tyga and how do you pronounce it? Madelaine Petch?
I think it's Madelaine P.
Oh, Madelaine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, her. Why are they dating? I want better for you, girl. I want better for you. And if you don't know who we're talking about, she is the redhead girl from Riverdale. I feel like everyone knows who Tyga is.
Yeah, I had to do a little refresher and look her up.
And Tyga's like, I feel like he's like notoriously like a bad person. Like people think he's weird. He dated Kylie Jenner when she was like so young.
What you said. Why do I also feel like there's an awkward age gap between Tyga and Madelaine though? Because I feel like she's like, is she not in like her mid-20s? Or like late 20s? How old is he?
I have no idea. Let's do
I'm
some.
looking it up right now.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Fact check that.
He is 35 and she's 30.
Oh, I did not know she was 30.
I could have sworn she was like mid-20s. No.
Wait, that does make sense though because Cole Sprouse is like, he hit 30s. So, and they were on the same show. Okay. But Tyga looks so much older. Like, in the face, he just looks older. Not saying he has like wrinkles or
He's been
anything.
around for so long too.
And we'll let Kelsey talk about the next one.
So if you're not on the internet, I don't think you'll ever get this reference. But the OG Bhad Bhabie has come back. She's made her big comeback, and I know the people who were prime on the internet when she released like Gucci flip flop. Oh, what's another one?
She had one that was like white J's, white horse.
Yes.
Oh, and she had a song with Kodak Black. I think it was called like Bestie.
Yeah, that one was good too. But she's got beef with Alabama Barker, which I feel like that's not a known name. She's the daughter of Travis Barker, who is married to Kourtney Kardashian. Yeah, I think there's a lot of history with that though, because I was watching a TikTok and apparently like Danielle, which is Bhad Bhabie, and Alabama used to be like really close friends or something like that. And then like some they fell off or like had some old beef. And now recently Alabama like got with Danielle's baby daddy and now like Danielle is like I mean, it's a little because she like in her video, I don't know if you all saw it, but she said my baby daddy has never cheated on me until this point or something like that. And she's like putting all the blame on Alabama, but like, it takes two to tango. But I'm not hating though because this diss track, Miss Whitman, pretty good, I will say. It's bringing back that old music that we need.
So take this with a grain of salt. But I remember hearing from someone when they were explaining to me like the whole like Alabama Barker drama. I'm pretty sure somewhere in this Sky Jackson gets involved. Like Sky Jackson's boyfriend has something to do with all this too. Like I said, take this with a grain of salt. I could be lying to you.
I would not be surprised.
Wait, all I know about Sky Jackson's baby daddy is that he's like a dud.
Wait, was
Like a
he in jail? Did he get arrested recently?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he's from Cincinnati. The person who told me this, she was like explaining to me like all the drama. But he's like from Cincinnati. He has like multiple baby mamas, I'm pretty sure. And then he was in jail, I think for child support. He was in jail for something. I don't know for what though.
Yeah, I remember there was like a clip of him getting arrested in Ohio. I don't remember if it was Cincinnati, but I know for sure it was in Ohio, I think.
all I know is that Prime Music is actually coming back.
That part. Bring back diss tracks. First we had Kendrick, now this one. Bring them on.
Bro, we need Rice Gum back.
No, that's such a throwback. Rice Gum, I used to eat up those videos. They were so funny.
And also, Logan and Jake Paul are set to wrestle each other, and people are like, get Alyssa Violet in there. And I'm like, that would actually be so iconic.
Can we also talk about the reality TV show that they're doing on them?
Let's cancel it, please.
I just feel like they're trying to be like the next Kardashians and their relationships like with their significant others. And now that Logan has a kid too, I feel like that's just not healthy because that baby is still like fresh. Like there's no way that like taking care of a fresh newborn, having cameras around you, all that is gonna be like, the best environment.
Parents are crazy too.
Yeah, their dad. Very suspicious. And wait, Jake got a baby too?
I'm pretty sure it's just Logan.
Oh, okay.
Did I say that Jake had one too? I don't know. But I know Logan has one because it was in the little flyer like poster that they made.
Yeah, and I remember people were clowning him because he was live streaming when his like girlfriend, wife, or whatever was in labor, and he was like promoting what's that brand that he has?
Prime?
Yes, Prime.
He would. I'm surprised he didn't like show the whole process of like cutting the umbilical cord and everything.
Literally so weird. I would cry if I came out and saw that was my dad.
We need to learn to not give all these people live TV time.
That part. And speaking of TV shows, you already know what's coming. What we are watching. So I don't know why I started singing, guys. Okay, so for me, honestly, I haven't been watching that much TV. I started back up watching the second season of School Spirits, and it's pretty good. That show, people don't talk about that show enough, at least from what I see. I know like viewership has risen a bunch since the first season, but it's actually such a good show.
I've been getting a lot of TikToks about like Peyton List and Milo because they're in that show together and they play like romantic interests, I think, don't they?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, I should start this show because I like both of them a lot, like as actors.
I also got a couple edits. Now I know that's the name of it.
And T is that Milo likes Latinas.
Where do I find this show?
Paramount Plus.
Wait, I think it's on Netflix too.
Yeah, the first season's on Netflix too.
Oh, they don't have the second episode. I mean, the second season.
Not right now, I don't think.
So if I'm watching currently, I'm rewatching Cable Girls. I watched the first two seasons a long time ago, but then I saw how the show ended, and I didn't like the way that it ended, so I never finished it. But one of my friends is watching it, and she was telling me how crazy it's getting. So I was like, let me give it another chance. And I'm almost done with season 1. I started it like 2 days ago.
Wait, Cable Girls? What I feel like I've heard about that. Who else in that show?
It's a Spanish show, but I don't know the actors in it.
OT, I know it's a Spanish show. I've heard of it before, but never watched it.
I'm like not a big like watcher. Like I don't know, I have to be in the mood to watch something. So you all caught me at a good time actually because I started watching Mellow Movie, which is a K-drama on Netflix, and I just have the last episode to watch. Guys, it's okay. The thing about K-dramas is if you watch too many of them in a row, they start to all like show the same theme. But with this one, it's like it's very similar, but like different at the same time in that it brings in different like aspects. The title Mellow Movie, it's like what they call movies that they want to show like strong connection within the characters to their audience. So it's like a feel good. They want the viewers to feel good. And that's like their term for that. And so it's, bro, I don't know how to explain it, but it's got like a director, actor, like kind of coexisting a little bit. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a really cute show. And it's only like 10, 11 episodes, but the episodes are like an hour or so long. But I definitely recommend.
Kelsey saying that her thing was on Netflix just reminded me. A couple episodes ago, I was talking about how like I lost access to my Netflix on my phone. I found a loophole, you guys. I put it on airplane mode and then go on Netflix, and then you turn on your Wi-Fi, and then it like you can still get on.
Life hack. So my song of the week is Dear God by Tate McRae. I'm still on my Tate McRae kick, and it's just amazing. So I'm going to play my favorite part for you guys. So yeah, go listen to that song.
Okay, and just like Kennedy, I also have a Tate McRae song. Her album is just too good not to just have every single song from her album be a song of the week. And mine is I Know Love featuring the Kid Leroy, which is also her boo. And here's just like my favorite part.
Hi, it's Editing Kennedy here. Sorry for the jump scare from my voice, but Kelsey's audio messed up. But go listen to the song because it's fire.
And for my song of the week, not to break up the Tate McRae little trend thing we got going on, but I got a Sabrina Carpenter song, which I feel is right up the same vibe, a little bit, a little different, but it's Busy Woman by Sabrina Carpenter. And
now we are getting into the main topic of this episode, and it is Wattpad. Whoop whoop. As you can tell by the title, we're gonna be reminiscing on our time on Wattpad. We're just gonna talk about, I guess, like our origin story, how we got into Wattpad, just like what Wattpad was back then, what it is now, and just Wattpad movie adaptations, and just the normalization of being a Wattpad girly, because it used to be a sacred secret until like a couple years ago.
I guess I can get us started on our little origins. Me personally, I don't remember like when I got on Wattpad, not gonna lie. I remember like vividly scrolling on my phone and reading, and I know it was Wattpad, but at the same time, like I didn't know like it was like Wattpad. I just thought it was like books, that you're reading on there. And then I deleted it as I got like a little older because it was kind of like, I don't know, I started reading other things, or I just got into like other interests or whatever. But in high school, I think it was like during quarantine, all of our friends, we like re-entered our Wattpad eras and we downloaded Wattpad and everything. And that's when like I vividly like remember like, oh, this is Wattpad.
Yeah, for me, I remember where I was. Where I was at. I'm pretty sure it was like towards the beginning of the year. I was on my way to gymnastics with two people that I used to be friends with, and one of them was like, "Y'all should get this app. It's called Wattpad. You can just like read like these stories." And honestly, I was hooked ever since. And I feel like before that, like there's a little bit of like fan community I would see on like We Hearted and like maybe Instagram, like Vine, things like that. And so Wattpad was basically just like a more fleshed out version of the fan community. And I just got hooked. I just started with my little bad boy books. And I think even at the time, the person who introduced it to me told me about like One Direction fan fiction on there. And yeah, I just used it all the time in middle school. I feel like in high school, I kind of went on and off for it. And then I remember obviously over quarantine, we kind of got back into it. Now I don't use it because it's dead. And I feel like it's just not good anymore. But yeah, that's my origin story.
With me, y'all, when I tell you, me and Wattpad, we go back. I actually, before Wattpad, I had another fan fiction app. It was called Novella. Like, play on words, novel, novella, but like, cause aren't those like, there's like Spanish shows called telenovelas, right? Okay, so I guess they were like combining the two. So I had that, and it was basically the same thing where it's like fan fictions, people writing their own stuff. And then my sister, she actually introduced me to Wattpad, fellow fangirl, but we see who stuck around. So yeah, with Wattpad, been there since like sixth or seventh grade. It stayed consistent. Like there was never a break. Middle school was really bad when I would stay up and watch it, and I would only like get like 5 hours of sleep almost every night. It was bad. But I was like, once they added that option where it like showed the estimated time on how long it took to read the book, I was like, I can beat that. It was a race.
No, because I have that feature on my Kindle, and I always be trying to finish the chapter quicker. But I also used to stay up late. Like I remember this one time specifically. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like one of those books where the girl's parents. I can't remember if they died or if they were just moving or something, and she had to move in with like her parents' best friend. Actually, they probably did die. No, this is not My Life with the Walter Boys. And she had like in the friend had all these sons. And I remember I finished the book late at night and I said, wow, that is so good. I'm about to read this again. So I literally read it from beginning to end. I stayed up all night rereading this book that I just finished reading, like over like 40 chapters. And your girl got like 2 hours of sleep that night, but it was all worth it.
No, I swear the hardest thing was finding like a good book, you know? Cause once Wattpad started getting a little fancy with their Wattpad featured stories or whatever, you couldn't read those because you had to like pay and like do all this other stuff. So it was good. You would only read like like the ones that the real people were like writing is how I thought of them. But finding like a good one would always be hard for me. Like I would have to go, I'd finish a book and then I'd go to that author's like favorites and I would just read like all their favorites because I'm like their book was good. Obviously the recommendations gotta be good.
But yeah, but at that time, what kind of books did y'all read? I feel like mine was always fan fiction and like romance books for the most part. Of course, I said a little bit earlier, like I love my bad boy books, like Bad Boy. What was it? The Bad Boy and Me, and like the cover of it was that one girl from Pretty Little Liars, Aria. Yup, I ate that one up. Perfect Addiction. I loved that one. That actually got turned into a movie, but that one I've read that multiple times. Just very good. I remember vaguely reading after, but like I don't think I ever finished it. But yeah. Oh, I read like a bunch of One Direction fan fiction. Y'all, if y'all are good at remembering fan fiction, there's this one fan fiction that I have never been able to remember the name of, but it was a One Direction fan fiction. And this girl went to boarding school and she literally dated all of them. I think in game was Niall, but I remember she dated Harry. She dated Louis, all of them. And it was just so good. Like, oh, and like Zayn was the bad boy. And it was just so good. It was a boarding school and that's all I can remember. But I can never find it because like it from what I remember, it like never got finished, and I wouldn't know if it's finished. So if y'all know what I'm talking about, help me out. And then I also read sometimes like MadCon fanfic because I was a MadCon girly. I was.
I went through all the phases. Like, I did go through a little Macon phase. There was a little bit of a Harry Potter because, um, you know, what's his name? What's his name? With the bleach
Draco and
hair.
Hermione.
Draco.
Yes.
Yep.
But it wasn't even like Draco with Hermione though. It was just Draco in general.
Yep.
I
Yep.
loved the bad boy. I loved when they were like mean to everybody else, couldn't care. But when it came to the girl, oh, he's got a soft spot. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I stumbled across some really good ones that weren't fan fiction. They'd have the cover be like young Selena Gomez, and she was everywhere. And that cover had me hooked. And when they have like the characters set up as like celebrities, I was like, Yep. Yep. This looks like a stat cast. So
Oh, I just remember. I also loved Teen Wolf fanfic because I loved Dylan O'Brien in middle school. And to this day, I've only watched a couple episodes of season one, but I ate up Teen Wolf fanfic.
I would like both of y'all read all of like the bad boy ones, the Draco and Hermione or just Draco ones. Those were my guilty pleasure. Forget Harry in One Direction and everything. Something about the way those girls are writing those books, so good. To this day, some of the best books I've read. I can't even lie to y'all. And then I would just read a whole lot of like random little like romance ones with all the tropes, of course.
And then just what like made Wattpad so fun is the comments, you guys. The comments were like my favorite part. I personally never commented or anything, but just like reading the comments when something crazy happened, comedy.
I still remember like when I got into like actual reading in high school and everything, like during quarantine, I missed the comments. Like I would be like, where do I find where people are reacting? No way I'm the only one reacting this way, because the comments were the best part of Wattpad stories. Just like seeing everybody else is also freaking out or they're like, what is going on? And I would love when it'd be like random comments. It'd be like, I don't know, some random sentence would have like 10 comments, and then you know something was about to happen when there'd be like a couple thousand comments.
I think that's why I like reading vlogs so much because, like I said, I'm not on Wattpad. So it's like reading vlogs is where I get like my reactions, my comments and stuff from if I'm reading the same book as the person who's filming them. So I wish Wattpad, please come back to your prime so we can have that same energy.
My favorite comments were when the book was one that the author never finished and you'd get to the last like part of it and everybody would be putting their dates on there of when they got there, or like, oh, just checking back to see if they updated, and they never updated.
And I like the comments in the beginning too, where it's like, I'm rereading this book on like whatever day, third time rereading, things like that.
dude, the worst thing that you could ever see when finding a book, and like it's gonna be a good one when it's like a good amount of like estimated it takes you to like finish the book, and it has a good amount of chapters, but you see that it was last updated in like 2020, and I'm like, no, no. Like, and then like it hurts even more because when you see that author's note, it's raps because it's always, oh guys, I'm so sorry, like all this schoolwork, my dog died, my grandma's in the hospital, blah 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 blah. Babe, we don't care. We want that next chapter.
That part, like, why are Wattpad authors? They're always going through the most traumatic stuff. Like, their whole family's dead. They just got out of the mental hospital. Like, okay, and right, update the book. We need the chapters.
And I swear, I feel like they planned it out because it would always happen at the worst cliffhanger in the book when everything is either about to go like downhill, everything's going so good. It'd be at peak moment in the book, and then they just want to drop off the face of the earth.
Bruh, that was actually my kryptonite. Like I'd cry. I'd be like, you would. Like you would do that. Went through all of like these 90 chapters. You can't write 10 more. If you're in
And
that mental hospital, you have nothing but time.
that part.
Nothing but time.
And it got to a point where I would always like check like the chapters and check like I remember I used to have like a status thing where it's like the author would like mark it like this book is completed, but sometimes they didn't always check it. So I like go through like the chapters and be like, okay, did they finish it? But just didn't really press continue. Or like sometimes the book will be finished, but then they still add like author notes and stuff. So yeah, I always like check through like the chapters and stuff to be like, okay, if this is not finished, I'm not starting this, or I'll just like save it for later.
I still remember like some of the best ones I read. And I remember what cliffhanger they left off on when I realized the author wasn't coming back. I would like re-download Wattpad and just go to like to those books and just like check in hopes, and no.
Low key, I might have to re-download Wattpad just to see like what my library and stuff is looking like. And it's crazy to think how normalized it is now to be a Wattpad girly. Like I said, I like was on it like my prime years were in 6th and 7th grade, I would say, maybe even 8th. but I like hide that phone on my app. Like it would be hidden. You could not see it. Like nobody talked about it. Like I would be so embarrassed. The only people who knew were the two people that put me on. So yeah, it was very much an embarrassing thing. And I remember sometimes my parents would be like, "What are you looking at?" And I'll be like, "I'm reading a book," but then just completely make up a whole different book because they don't need to know that I'm reading a bad boy book. Okay.
Yes, and I feel like even like with other girls and everything, you know, like where it's like a safe community, you wouldn't bring up Wattpad. Like it would be like if you knew, you knew, and then you would talk about it. But I wouldn't go up to someone and be like, "Oh, like what are you reading on Wattpad? Or have you heard of this book?" No, because what if they're a Wattpad hater?
No, that part. I forgot to say this earlier, but I used to just have the best time. I remember putting someone onto Wattpad. I won't say their name on the podcast, but it was someone who rode the bus with me. And yeah, because I used to read on the way to school and on the way back home from school. And yeah, no one talked about it. But I feel like because of like the rise of book talk and like people being fangirls, that's really when people are like, yeah, we are also like ex Wattpad girlies as well. And I feel like a lot in the beginning of book talk, a lot of girlies were reading Duplicity on Wattpad too. So I feel like that really kind of blew up as well.
Girl, do not get me started on that. There was a whole secret cult coming together when they started talking about all the raunchiest Harry Styles fan fictions you could ever read. And suddenly everybody was coming out of the dungeon saying like, "Oh my gosh, did you read Third Stall? Oh my gosh, did you read this one?" Harry Styles literally tatted up, but like not how he is, like the intricate ones, like the dirty, like mafia gang leader. He had the gun on him always. Niall had tattoos and piercings. Like, no, he wouldn't in real life. But when I tell you that whole time I was living, because I never deleted Wattpad from my phone. I have all of my favorite stories saved in a specific folder. I have a whole little like yeah folders for each one. The One Direction ones, the specific Harry Styles ones, and then the ones that aren't fan fiction. Maybe one day we can go through and look at that, but it won't be today. I did actually because like obviously during COVID we weren't doing much besides being at home. I became, a BTS fan. Army, don't come for me, okay? I did start reading BTS fan fiction, okay? And they're so well written because one thing I will tell you, Army, they are very intricate. They're very detailed. They know their bias and they will write them to perfection. So I will say I'm still in there. I'm very much still on Wattpad.
Okay, I got two comments. One, I just remembered another type of fan fiction I would read, and that would be the Flash fan fiction. Yeah, those eight. Oh my, and Stranger Things. Yo. And two, okay, this might be a hot take, but I don't think reading fan fiction about real people is weird. I know that's like a whole debate, but I don't think it's weird. Is this a safe space? I still read fan fiction, but on Tumblr, that y'all don't sleep on Tumblr, okay? The fanfics community still be thriving on there, and it's good. And I don't think reading fanfic about real people is weird, unless you make it weird, cause some do. Like some, not even some of the things that people write about. I'm like, why would you write that? But then some are just so good that it's just like,
I also think we should talk about how Wattpad just, I don't know, they literally like created us as fangirls. Don't you all think so? Like, yes, like obviously, like the musicians and the actors and stuff, like obviously we're the ones talking about them being fans of them, but like Wattpad played a really large part for me and it got me more immersed into that fandom.
I agree because if it wasn't for Wattpad, we weren't like obsessing over like there wasn't a platform or anything for us to like see them in other than like the magazines that they would pop up in or whatever. But even then that's not like accessible to everyone. Wattpad was free. It like ignited a whole fandom.
and I feel like a lot of people from Wattpad migrated over to Instagram. I feel like I remember seeing a lot of authors that have like their Instagram handle, and it'd be like fan pages and stuff. Oh, and even Twitter, because Twitter was popping back then.
I remember there was a time where like I would read like shorts, like authors would post like little shorts on Instagram, and like each post would be like a little mini chapter. I would eat that up. I'd be like, oh, another app? Perfect.
And then should we talk about this now? This smut on Wattpad.
When I tell y'all, I am guilty of reading the most terrible things in public. I will be in the same car as my parents. I'm sorry.
One thing about me is I can't keep a straight face any other time, but if I'm reading some smut in a book, just stone face.
What they said. Something about like you're just flipping through like really quick, because you're in public, but like you also don't want to skip anything.
I'd be like, I'm gonna save this for later when when no one else is around.
When done right, it has to be done right though. Like the build up, it has to be like it can't just be every single chapter. There's a difference.
That part. And I feel like that's even like a discussion now, even within like physical, like actual books. Like this, it just has to be written right. Like y'all can't be like, it has to have some chemistry behind it. There has to be some connection there. Y'all just can't meet and then have sex and like write out their meaning. I mean, you can if it's like a hookup type story, but like it just hits different when it's like a build up and there's just been like little, a little tension, a little longing.
Exactly. Like, example, Bridgerton. Like, I really want to read that series because if the show turned out that good and they base it on the book has to be a little more, detailed. Like, I need to get onto that series.
And if you're in a relationship, I feel like they can help you out, You might come up with some new thing. That's all I gotta say. I mean, not like I would know. I'm single, so.
Oh my God. Book club.
Oh my god, remember our Wattpad book club?
We would like have a weekly, it was literally a book club. We would have a weekly book and everybody would be reacting in our group chat when they got to a certain part at the one up with the cliff.
Yeah, I was really about to bring that up. I was like, the only thing I remember is someone fell off a cliff or something. We were all like, what?
No, I remember I was so guilty about like we set up a chapter to stop and then so we could discuss in a group chat. Guilty, I read ahead. I couldn't help myself.
Y'all know me, I like to procrastinate, so I was always last minute. I'd be like, just speed reading.
I was right with Kelsey. I would keep on reading, and next thing you knew, I was done with the book.
That's too funny. Now it's time for the downfall of Wattpad. Y'all, what's up with the ads? What's up with putting things behind the paywall? And what's up with this whole, you gotta pay for some little coin thingies? Last time I was on, like, you had to buy some coins and able to read a little bit of some chapters. It's just a whole mess.
Y'all, I was recently on there rereading one of my older stories that I said. And now it's like you can watch a certain amount of ads and it'll give you like ad free for the next 5 chapters or so. Or like if you want to keep watching the ads, it'll be like ad free a certain amount of chapters. And I was like, you're kidding. I mean, obviously, I'm going to sit here and watch these dumb ads and I'm going to play these stupid little games that they're advertising. But for the sake of reading this book, y'all are actually the reason why nobody wants to read anymore.
And the way that they like figured out the loopholes, because I remember I would like the loophole was you got to the bottom of your chapter, right? And it'd be like, oh, an ad coming up. You go to the table of contents, you just skip to the next one, hit the X, and then you were good. Why last time I went on there, the ad still it popped up and I saw it was longer.
Yeah, and I used to do that, or I would like exit out of the app and go back in, but then it still played the ad. I said, oh. It is always at the worst times. Like if they're like y'all, if they're about to kiss, don't give me an ad after that. I want to see what happens after.
And I swear they put in those apps where like you have to I feel like the playing like the little crossword or something, and next thing you know, the ad was over and I could have been going on in my book, but I was too caught up on the app and then you can't see the X because it's hidden.
Yeah, they be setting this up for real, and the ads are always so long for no reason.
Okay, I remember what I was going to say. Life hack. I heard that if you put your phone on airplane mode, it won't give you the ads because there's no internet. But I've heard that's a life hack for other apps too that also get ads.
T.
Just wait until they figure that one out.
No, for real, they're listening to this. They put they insert an AI. They're like, what are people saying about Wattpad? And they pull up this podcast episode and they're like, oh, we're gonna fix that.
And now we're gonna get into some movie adaptations. If y'all didn't know, a lot of like current newer romance movies, if you want to call them. They were originally based on Wattpad books that got turned into books that got then to turn into like movies and TV shows. We're gonna deep dive on these because they're interesting.
I feel like overall the consensus for Wattpad movies are not the best. I feel like honestly they've gotten better, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, for the most part, we already know if it's from Wattpad, it's gonna be cringy. But I'm still gonna be sad. Like, of course I am. But the after movies, I swear, like I watched, I think like the first 2 or 3 movies, and then I was like, okay, I'm not watching the rest of them.
No, because I remember being so jaw dropped when I found out that After was the movie that they chose based on Harry Styles. I remember reading that. I stayed up late to finish that book. And I was like, okay, this better be good. But then I saw who they casted based on Harry Styles. I said, slow your roll, because that is not correct. Treppa. Like, what? No, no. And then I did not see Tessa looking like that, but it's whatever.
Yeah, the after movies, the acting was definitely interesting. I know Perfect Addiction is out. I haven't watched it though. That was like I would say like a top Wattpad book for me. Read it multiple times. And I know what's his face is in it. Oh my gosh, he's tall.
Ross Butler.
Yep. I was like, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, he's in that. So I'm like, ooh, I want to watch that. But I just haven't. I know it's like about boxing or whatever. Honestly, I love the good boxer in a Wattpad book.
The finest men always be boxers, whether in a mafia gang, whether it's just for sport, whether they have anger issues.
That part, and then they always have daddy issues, or they're always taking care of their siblings.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. They always have siblings at home. They're boxing to make some extra money along with some street racing.
Yeah. See, y'all, we were seasoned veterans of Wattpad, like we know.
Don't get me started on when they had a little sister and then the love interest would come in and act like the mom. Don't get me
Yeah.
started. And he was like, oh, potential mom? Okay.
And then recently, the QB and Me came out, and it's actually getting a second movie, which I don't know. I can't remember if I read this or not on Wattpad, but like low key, I feel like the movie wasn't that bad. Like, like obviously it was very cheesy. I watched it like 2 times, but I thought it was like a really cute movie. It was giving the same vibes of like The Kiss and Booth for me.
What's it called? The QB and Me?
The quarterback in me. Or is it QB?
Oh,
I think it's QB.
Either way, Noah Beck is the QB. I don't know if you all were on Prime TikTok, but he was there, Hype House and all, Sway House, and seeing him on screen like that, very interesting.
this is the Noah Beck movie. Okay. This makes so much more sense to me now. I was so lost. Again, I think it's the casting for me because I can't take Noah Beck seriously. Again, like I said, it's the casting. I feel like where they go wrong in these movie adaptations, not in all of them, but I feel like in a lot of them, it's the casting. The casting isn't what it should be.
I agree. Low key, I feel like for me, I don't know how to describe it. Like, obviously, I was like, this is Noah Beck. But then at the same time, I just like, some reason, I just be like getting so invested into stupid things. So I was just like so invested in the storyline. I didn't even think at some points that it was Noah Beck. Unless it was like a really cringy thing. Cause like to me, like Noah Beck, I feel like he's a little past our time of like internet boys that we would think would be cute. So I'm not saying he's ugly, but I was just like, oh, okay.
The way that he used to date Dixie D'Amelio, like if anything, she was the QB.
Oh,
What?
that's shady. And then I didn't realize the kissing booth came from Wattpad. But if you know, well, actually, I've never talked about this before on the podcast, but when that movie came out, me and the people I was friends with at that time loved that movie. We watched it like every time we had a sleepover. It was so good. I would always throw it on. I remember I was excited for the second movie. It was so good. I mean, it's what put Jacob Elordi on. And it was like the lore was so good because Joey King and Jacob were dating. And it was honestly, it was just so cringy and so bad that it was good. You know, it was a good, bad movie.
I also had no idea that one came from Wattpad. But from this list of movies, I feel like that one was one of the first like Wattpad to screen adaptations in. And not gonna lie, they did their thing when that one came out. Now when I rewatch, I'm like, this is a little cringy. But like in the moment, I ate it up.
No, I literally watched it so much that like I would start like I'll be able to reenact some scenes and I would know when certain stuff was coming up.
I also feel like with the kissing booth, their casting was way more like on point to like the written, like how you would imagine the character to look like. Like Jacob Elordi's character, I can see that. The brother, I don't, what is his name? Lee?
Yeah,
Something
Lee.
like that. I can see him looking like
And they actually have like good actors, so that helps. And then next, My Life with the Water Boys. I like feel like I vaguely remember seeing it on Wattpad, but I don't think I ever read it. Obviously, I like read a book similar to it, but I know it wasn't this. But yeah, I'm sorry, I ate that show up. It was another. It's so bad and cringe that it's good, and I will be sad for season 2. And if you're wondering, I'm team neither of them. They both suck. But I was rooting for the little nerdy one. I can't think of his name, but I was rooting for him.
I actually read this book on Wattpad and I was like, wait, why is that title so familiar? And I was like, hold on, why is this storyline familiar? Why is Sparkle from Girl Meets World on here? But like neither one of the brothers, I agree with you, but I'm leaning more towards the older one. He just doesn't know how to communicate. He doesn't know how to express his emotions. So if he was good on that end, obviously I would go with the older brother. We need to learn these characters' names.
I think I would root for the older brother if he was cute. It wasn't annoying. Like, okay, you hurt your shoulder and you can't play football, boo hoo.
I haven't watched this one, but my brother watched it. And I'm pretty sure he was rooting for the nerdy one.
See, he's on the right team this time, but he on the wrong team for the Samurai
I
Turn
was gonna
Pretty.
say he is on the wrong team for the other one.
And then The Idea of You, which I feel like this is like actually like a actual like good movie from like a Wattpad adaptation. It was definitely because Anne Hathaway was definitely carrying this movie, and it just I don't know. I felt like it felt a little bit more. I don't want to say realistic because the main character literally it was very much YN where she gets spotted in the crowd at Coachella, but I don't know, it wasn't as bad as the other ones.
This one I thought was the craziest adaptation out of all of them because it was like so blatantly obvious that it's like Harry. Specifically, the what did it for me was the last scene where like he's singing on the
The night
show,
show.
and
Hmm.
it's literally, if you look at it, it's literally a clip of Harry when he was like announcing his solo album and everything. I just thought it was like all the other ones, like you could get away with being like, oh, like it's not based on like someone or anything like that. This one though, not being any allegations.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I forgot how similar it is. Like it really like the main character really was word for word, bar for bar Harry Styles.
And I feel like I remember in an interview how he was talking about how he prepared for the role and how he had all these inspirations that the director and producer gave him. They literally handed him Harry's discography. He probably told, go watch these interviews, look at his mannerisms, hear how deep his accent is. Because that was Harry. But at least he was like a pretty good actor though. Because he was from, what is that movie? Red, White, and Blue?
Purple Heart. Oh,
He's from Purple Hearts and Red, White, and Royal Blue. And now the next one, this kind of is a controversial one because I remember I was talking about it in the group chat. Elizabeth loved this one. And then I can't remember if Kelsey watched this one, but I remember I watched the 30 minutes. I said, this movie sucks. I'm not finishing it.
I will admit, I have rewatched this one more than one time. It's Through My Window. It's one of the ones that's like a Spanish adaptation, and I don't know, something about the Spanish ones. I have rewatched them more than once.
Maybe if I spoke Spanish, I would like it more.
I don't even know what story it's based on. I don't know if it was like a fanfic or not, or if it's just like some Wattpad story. All I know is the first movie, I watched it a couple times. May have memorized the script at some points.
I think for me, I just think I hated the concept of the movie. Like wasn't it something about like Wi-Fi and like I don't know. There was like one scene that made me be like, okay, I'm done watching this movie. And like he or she chased the other down to like confront them or something. I don't know. I can't even remember, but I was like, no.
It does have to do with Wi-Fi.
And wasn't the guy rich?
Yeah. And she's like obsessed with him low key.
See, I think that's what it was it for me. Like she was being like a stalker, and I was like, what?
Okay, Kennedy.
That was not supposed to be. Who have I been stalking?
Timmy.
What up? What up? My voice goes high when I just laugh. When have I been stalking Timothy Chalamet? Please tell me.
When you're always the first like that I see on his posts. Like, girl,
That's
he
not
posted that 1 minute ago.
that is not my fault. That is not my fault. That is not stalking. I don't know his whereabouts. I don't follow any Timothy fan pages or anything, you guys. But Carlos, I'm about to say now he should watch his back. I might be around the corner.
You know, I see why you didn't like this movie, Kennedy. You saw yourself in the main character.
So what drew you to this movie? Did you say, oh, I'm gonna learn this and do this and stalk down my man?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's see. I can't even think of who she's obsessed with, but watch your back because she might come through your window.
No, there was a time though, because our friend group, we have Life 360, where we just be at places and this would be like, why are you there? What are you getting? Oh, I see you're in Lexington. Girl, mind your business.
I'm simply a concerned friend who looks out for the rest of her friends.
AKA, she's just nosy.
Anyways, another movie. I didn't know this one was a Wattpad. Actually, I did know. But it's the whole like culpa mia, culpa tuya, now the Your Fault London franchise. All those movies are all apparently based on Wattpads.
Yeah, I haven't watched those. I didn't realize Koopa. I'm about to mess this up. Koopa Mia and Koopa Tua. Just my Americanness. I didn't realize there was like two different ones. I thought people were just using those interchangeably. But yeah, I've seen a lot about Your Fault London because not to talk about F1. People been comparing the main character in that one and Lando Norris. See, I've gone back and forth because I hear it's like about step siblings, and that's just not my vibe. But people are like, it's not that bad in this one because like they didn't grow up with each other. But it's just the word step sibling that's getting me. I feel like I have some trauma from Elite, even though I think they were half siblings, but still.
You know, your trauma coming from Elite, I understand because I'm getting flashbacks right now. But
The
Culpa
table.
Mia is the first one and Culpa Tuya is the second movie. And then they came off with like the English spin-off, which is like the Your Fault London one. And I watched the Your Fault one recently with some friends here, and you are sitting there and you're like, what is going on? Because it's like they're literally like step siblings and the parents are like married though. Like yeah. It's not like foster siblings, no, they're like actually like step siblings.
Yeah, so I don't think that movie's gonna be seeing me, but I'm glad everyone's loving it.
I never got the step siblings trope. They said, oh, we're under the same roof. Let's make it easier. Let's make it easier for everybody.
Yeah, I never got the hype with that trope either. It just always grossed me out.
I just never understand like how the parents don't catch on or nobody really catches on.
And I'm just confused on how like you don't automatically see that person as like another sibling. Cause like even though like technically, but I just feel like in the sense, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like I feel like, people foster siblings, which the Fosters, I know Elizabeth was a Brandon and Kylie stan, but no. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. That was just no. I just feel like if my mom was like, oh, this boy is your stepbrother, I wouldn't be like, oh, I love him in that way.
You know, I was really hoping you wouldn't bring that up and you had forgot about that. But I forget that Kitty just has it out for me.
I had to.
In my defense, the song that they did together, like their little goodbye, I ate that up.
Y'all hear that silence?
Don't get me wrong, I didn't want them to be endgame. I like Callie with the little spin-off and everything. Another one that I found out when we started this call, the Tearsmith, this one's on Netflix. It's like a Italian one. I personally only watched it because I thought the actor looked attractive, but this one was weird. This one was like an orphanage, and like it goes back and forth between the past and the present, and it was really, really weird. Like, I did not enjoy this one at all. This one, it wasn't even cringy. It was just really confusing, and I was like, what am I watching right now? But you should totally watch it and check it out just so we can talk about it.
Wow, you really sold me to really watch it.
Let me emphasize, Italian. He's an attractive person, Kennedy. Curly hair, brown hair. Think Timmy.
I'm gonna look this man up.
I really hope it holds up. I don't really remember what he looks like.
Tyr Smith. Okay, let me make sure. Tyr Smith. Oh, I've seen this movie or this TV show cover, but I didn't watch it. Interesting. Oh yeah, hold on. I feel like I remember people on TikTok liking this.
Yes, that's where I saw it, from TikTok, and they lied.
Oh, of course her parents died in a car accident. No shock there.
It was the go-to death or tragic event in all the Wattpad stories. Both
No, for real.
parents tragically died. The girl was also there, but she survived.
Wait, so she gets in a relation? What?
See, I don't remember everything that happens. I just know they're in an orphanage, or maybe they're not in. No, they were in the orphanage together, and then the girl like gets adopted and the guy like pops up or something. It was really weird.
Yeah, that's what I read it on Wikipedia. They have a plot. I don't know if I should read it because it's kind of long, but I'll just do. I see the main girl. She gets adopted, and there's this guy named, is it Nika? It's probably pronounced better in Italian. Wait, who's the main boy character? And there's something about there's an attempted scene, and then someone wakes up in the hospital. Someone is in a coma. This is so Wattpad, I can't. And then at the end it says Nika and Regal are happily married and have a daughter. That's so Wattpad.
There was a daughter at the end of the movie, I'm pretty sure.
I'm weak.
No, because the worst thing that the authors ever did was end it with a pregnancy. I hated that. Right when everything started looking up, they finally got into a relationship, the two main characters. Suddenly, she's pregnant. Guys, take it slow.
And it was never like a little epilogue or anything. No, it was literally part of like the actual chapters in the story. They weren't even like, it wasn't the end. No, they just wanted them to be pregnant. And they were all like 18 or something.
There's nothing more I hated than an accidental pregnancy trope. To this day, I will not read a book with that trope.
In my mind, the book didn't end like that. In my mind, they traveled the world.
That part. Or I hate when it ends when they're like in a coma. And then I feel like I read one story where it was like what, I forgot what book it was, but it was so stupid. Like she got in a coma, and then of course before the coma, like she got in a fight with the main boy. And then and then she gets in a car accident and she's in a coma, and then it's like she wakes up and it's either her memory's gone or she wakes up and this was all just a dream. Like the whole book was fake. I'm like, really?
When the whole plot is fake, that actually, oh girl, that my heart was actually just like fire, burn. I hated that. I'm just like, why can't authors be original?
That part. I'm just like, I'm gonna pretend this doesn't exist.
There are other ways to go into a coma besides a car accident.
Like, be creative.
Exactly.
Those endings were worse than the author stopped updating the book because it was all fake.
Facts.
And before we keep on rambling about everything that there is Wattpad, because there's so much to talk about, we're going to go ahead and end this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you made it this far, let us know if you want more like Wattpad-esque or like anything else. We love talking about our fan fiction eras, you know, with our host Kelsey. Thank you for coming on, Kelsey, and we'll see you guys next week on the Girls Lounge. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.